Hey guys, Derek and Sally Tangmala here, and we are the owners of Auto Rehab. We've owned Auto Rehab for 7 years, and Derek has actually been in the automotive industry for 15 plus years. I don't really have to say much because behind me you probably already saw the 93 Toyota Supra. We just picked this up last week. And it's ironic because last week we had asked you guys what you want to hear about, what kind of videos we could produce that will help you in your everyday life. And because we got this project, a lot of you guys said you want to know about the Supra, you want to see the whole process. Well, we're going to check it into Auto Rehab, and it's going to be a complete project that you actually get to walk through with us. So we're really excited about that. So in today's video, you're actually going to hear about the performance side of Auto Rehab. So not only does Derek know auto repair, but he also really knows performance. That's actually the fun part of our business. So Derek, take it away.
So Toyota, during the 90s, along with many other Japanese companies, Nissan, Mazda, all the companies were pursuing a Japanese supercar. A lot of people know the Nissan Skylines, the R32, R33, R34. There's a whole bunch of them. Now we have an R35 in the States. These other three were typically only in Japan. Mazda had their RX-7, Mitsubishi had their 3000 GT VR4, and these are all cars that were typically 6-cylinder twin turbo. Mazda's a rotary engine, twin turbo, but they were trying to make small displacement engines that were forced induction motors because of the turbocharger, and they were trying to compete with the American car companies, the domestic cars, the Corvettes, the Mustangs, Chevelles, all the muscle cars that we have. The Supra started originally way back before they were known as Celica Supras, and they slowly, gradually built up. The flagship Supra was the last one. It's known as the MK4 chassis, and that was 93.5 to 98. Those are the years of the body style of the Supra that you saw that we have. This is the most desirable Supra, and it's the one that has been known to be the most powerful, the one people pay a lot of money for, very fast cars. And during this time, Toyota was very focused on reliability to maintain their reputation, so they completely overbuilt this car. The Supra had a lot spent into the engineering of the motor. These motors have been known in factory blocks, have been known to easily push 900 horsepower to the wheels with a factory bottom end. That's not something that's very common. And so these characteristics make a Supra very desirable. Now, the Supra was known as kind of a freeway monster in a sense, and that's where it shined. 60 mile per hour rolling and faster. Similar to the American car version would be the Dodge Viper. The Toyota Supra was a car that a lot of people who wanted the car couldn't afford it. And the people who could afford it, they had a lot of options. They had choices between newer Corvette Z06s, they had Shelbys, there's a lot of different things that they could choose from, and it's kind of hard for somebody to spend that much money and decide, I want a 6-cylinder, not an 8-cylinder, a 6-cylinder with a turbocharger, which a lot of people were not as familiar with turbochargers back then. Now we have, Ford has embraced turbochargers, Chevy has, a lot of companies have embraced turbochargers for their efficiency. Twin turbo version is the most desirable. The non-turbo version is kind of what's left right now. So the car we got is a non-turbo chassis. It comes in a hardtop version or a target top. Target top meaning the center of the roof can unbolt out. The car that we have is a target top, non-turbo chassis. We went down to pick up this project. We got a motor that was newly rebuilt. It has never been run. And we, however, are going to tear it back down. We don't know who built it, if it was built in someone's garage. I don't know if the rings were gapped properly. There's a lot of things I don't know. And because we don't know, and we didn't get the information, the person who sold us the car has no idea. We're going to open it up. And we just want to be sure we know what's in there, be sure it's okay, because we're planning to push it a little bit. So,
yeah.
It will be a very fun toy. Just because a particular item is $1,500 and another item's 1200, and putting these expensive components in an engine does not necessarily mean they work together, and they won't necessarily get you to the goal that you need. Well, what do you want to do with this car? Is this car going to be at the drag strip all the time? Or is this a daily driver, a street car? Or is this like a weekend warrior, something you'll get out and go play around on the weekends? These things are very important to know what you want, because it definitely determines what parts need to be put in it. Personally, in building motors, I prefer a factory style like cast pistons or pistons that have a high silicone base. So Molly is a company that makes a really great piston, or Supertech, and those are for a forged piston. Those are things that I prefer. They do have the full forged pistons, CP and other companies, but we're going to kind of show you why would you need one or the other and what the advantages of each are. Horsepower number can be very fun to pursue, and it definitely can bring bragging rights. The compromise you make is reliability. So you're pushing an engine multiple times harder than it was meant to, and you can go have fun, it can do great on the dyno, and it, just a few runs, reliability starts going downhill. There's a lot of things that can break at that kind of power level. Cars are excellent if you're building a drag car, if you want the fastest car, if you tear your motor down 1 or 2 times a year because you have to be at the absolute edge. Pursuing the 2500 and the 1800 to 1500 is something you can do. This car, we are potentially going to have it be a kind of a weekend warrior kind of a car, something that will be fun to straight line accelerate in. It may go to the track once in a great while, but we just plan on it being more of a fun vehicle, not necessarily a drag car and not necessarily just a daily driver. So we're right in the middle. When you're talking about right in the middle, we're typically talking about like a 700, 800, 900 horsepower range, which to most sounds extreme. However, in the realm of Toyota Supras, this is a very easy number to obtain. And this is a number where it is still fun to drive. Higher horsepower cars have a lot of lag because it takes a large turbo to get up there into those power ranges, and we're not very interested in that. So we are looking to build kind of a very fun street car. With this project, we got the V160 6-speed transmission. This is a very rare transmission now. Toyota has discontinued making it, and we got one with this project. These transmissions go between $6,000 and $8,000. When we build this, we are going to eliminate the factory twin turbos. They're good for about 450, 480 horsepower. We're going to go with a single turbocharger, and we'll kind of go into some detail later about matching turbochargers to the camshafts, to the power level that you're shooting for. Where that compromise between turbo lag and power is, and how to find the right turbocharger for what you're trying to do. So this is a brief overview. This is the beginning of our project.